The old steel chest looked like nothing more than forgotten scrap. Its lid had been welded shut years ago. Rust had eaten through the corners, and someone had written "Junktui $100" across the front with white chalk. People laughed as the final bid landed on a quiet young woman standing alone near the back of the estate auction. She didn't argue, didn't smile, and didn't explain why she wanted it. She simply handed over the $100 she had been saving for weeks, and arranged to haul the chest home. If you believe in kindness and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. The young woman's name was Maren Holt. At 26, she repaired farm equipment in a small repair shed outside the town of Red Creek. It wasn't glamorous work, but she loved fixing things other people had given up on. Old tractors, broken generators, rusted toolboxes if it could be repaired. She'd at least try. Business wasn't great, though. Farmers were struggling, and many delayed repairs until they absolutely had no choice. Every dollar mattered. She had only come to the estate auction because an elderly machinist named Leonard Ashby had passed away without family nearby. His workshop was being emptied piece by piece. Maren admired Leonard from a distance while growing up. He had been one of the few people who treated young mechanics with respect, regardless of age or experience. She had never met him properly, but everyone knew he hated throwing useful things away. When the welded chest rolled onto the auction platform, the auctioneer shrugged. "Nobody's opened it in decades," he said. "Could be empty, could be bricks." The crowd chuckled. A man in a bright red polo laughed the loudest. His name was Curtis Doyle, owner of the largest equipment dealership in the county. He pointed toward Maren after she made her bid. "You're paying $100 for a box nobody can even open." More laughter followed. Maren simply answered, "Maybe someone sealed it for a reason." Curtis shook his head. "Or maybe because it wasn't worth opening." That was the end of the conversation. By sunset, the chest sat in the back of Marnine's old pickup. It barely fit through the workshop door, and moving it inside left fresh scratches across the concrete floor. She made herself a simple dinner of canned soup, then stared at the heavy weld running around the lid. She wasn't hoping for treasure. Honestly, she expected old bolts, broken tools, or maybe nothing at all. Still, curiosity has a funny way of keeping people awake. Just after 9 that evening, she rolled out her grinder, protective glasses, and welding gloves. Sparks bounced across the shop floor as she carefully followed the old weld line inch by inch. Whoever sealed the chest had done professional work decades earlier. It took nearly 2 hours before the final section finally gave way. The lid lifted only an inch at first. Dust escaped into the cool night air. Inside were dozens of carefully wrapped cloth bundles. Not gold, not stacks of cash, not jewelry. Maren slowly unwrapped the first bundle. It contained handmade precision measuring tools, each engraved with Leonard Ashby's initials. Another bundle held custom metal gauges. Then came notebooks. Hundreds of pages. Every notebook contained detailed drawings, repair techniques, homemade machine designs, and handwritten notes explaining tricks Leonard had learned over 50 years of working with worn-out farm equipment. Some pages included sketches of parts no company manufactured anymore, but could still be built by hand. At the very bottom rested a sealed envelope. Across the front, in faded ink, were simple words: "For the mechanic who still believes broken things deserve another chance." Maren sat quietly before opening it. Inside was a short handwritten letter. Leonard explained that he had welded the chest shut after retiring because too many collectors only cared about selling his life's work piece by piece. He hoped one day someone willing to put in the effort would earn what was inside instead of simply buying it easily. "If you open this," the letter read, "you already proved patience matters more than luck." Maren smiled to herself. The next morning she returned to the auction office. Not to brag, but to ask whether Leonard had ever mentioned apprentices or local schools. Nobody knew much. Instead of hiding the notebooks away, Maren spent months organizing every drawing. She rebuilt forgotten repair methods and started teaching free Saturday workshops for teenagers interested in mechanical work. Farmers began bringing impossible repairs because she now knew techniques almost nobody else remembered. One afternoon, Curtis stopped by with an old grain drill. Everyone else had declared beyond saving. He stood awkwardly beside the shop door. "I guess I laughed too soon." Maren simply nodded. "We all miss things when we judge too quickly." She repaired the machine anyway and charged him less than expected. Word slowly spread not about hidden treasure, but about a mechanic who shared knowledge instead of keeping it locked away. Years later, people still talked about the rusty welded chest, but not because of what it contained. They remembered what Maren chose to do with it. Comment: kindness still exists, if you believe even one good act can change someone's life. If this story touched your heart, please leave a like and share it with someone who still believes kindness matters. Sometimes the greatest things hidden inside old boxes aren't valuable because they make us rich. They're valuable because they remind us that wisdom, patience, and generosity only grow stronger when they're shared with others.